What's up, everybody? It's your boy King Hustle, and yes, it's the best money and credit channel on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe and hit the all notification bell. So whenever I drop new sauce, new lessons, new methods, and giveaways, you'll be the first one to be notified. You'll be the first one to know what's going on. And hey, you might be the first one to win something for free. So make sure you subscribe and hit the all notification bell on all the YouTube channels. Also, make sure you follow me on my Twitch, King Hustle Live. I do all my freebies and giveaways from those YouTube channels and the Twitch. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out on nothing. Also, make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. All you gotta do is click the title on every video. Once you click the title on every video at the bottom of the description, all my social media links will pop up. All right. Got a lot of fake King Hustle pages out here. So please get a FaceTime verification call or video to make sure you see this face. Make sure you're doing legit business and you are getting what you pay for. All right. And before we get anything started, this is all educational purposes only, not telling anybody to do anything. So let's get this thing started. Hey, let's get this thing started. Hey, what to do, my real King Hustle fans, supporters, subscribers out there, my real Hustle Nation Empire family members. And we are back at it again with the gems, back at it again with the sauce, back at it again with the information that's going to turn you into a boss. So you're tired of being a zero, you ready to be a family hero? Listen up, take a seat, get your notepad and get your pen, because you already know when I drop these videos and y'all get them notifications, there's going to be some information that's going to help you win, stay safe, or keep you entertained. All right. So today's video, we're talking about these new scams and methods and fraud that's going on in the world today. It's a lot of people out there that are jumping into the fraud pool, the scam pool, becoming scammers and fraudsters. It's a lot of people out there that are in a position where they need some quick, fast cash, and this is the last resort that they have. And we got to understand, ever since COVID-19, ever since PPP loans, EDD loans, there's been an epidemic of scamming and fraud that's been sky high. The percentage is up 600 to 800% since then. There's a lot of new scams going on. There's a new generation and new people that are figuring things out, figuring out loopholes that's allowing them to commit these scams and these methods. So one scam or one new method that's been going around is with bank fraud, wire fraud. People are starting to target people's bank accounts, bank logs. Now, people are targeting bank accounts because that's a place that mainly people store their money, hold their money. And remember the word loophole, because it's going to be very important in this video. So people store their money in the banks so it can be protected, they can save it, and it can, they can do whatever they need to do. Most banks, or if not all banks, federally insure your account up to $250,000, $250,000. So banks insure the money, so if anything was to happen, you'll get that money back and the bank will be at loss. Now, scammers and fraudsters have figured out loopholes, meaning that they have figured out ways how to have or social engineer someone into sending the money to them through wire transfers, Zelle payments, and these type of things utilizing OTP bots. Now, it's probably a lot of people out there that have heard of OTP bots and probably like, what are OTP bots? An OTP bot is an on the phone bot that will allow someone to call somebody's phone and impersonate or spoof call and impersonate a bank or somebody, whoever that they want to impersonate. And I remember in my previous videos, I told you guys about the dark web. And on the dark web, this is a place where scammers and fraudsters and regular people go on a daily basis. And some people even go in there to buy different things. And there are places on the dark web that actually sells bank information. There's always a compromise, there's always a leak, and there's always some type of hack that's going on where people's information is put out there. And there are places on the dark web that people sell people's bank information, meaning that it lets you know what part this person has a bank account here, this person has a bank account here, and you can buy different banking information. So this allows this person, this scammer or fraudster, to know all the people who have a bank account at this bank, which means they have a debit card. And if they get the number on the back of that debit card and spoof call that person, it's gonna look like that's the bank that's calling. Now what they do is they get that person's information. Now that they know this person has an actual bank account with this bank, they send out a spoof text message. It might say something like, "Hey, are you trying to send $2,000? Reply yes, reply no." Now, when the person replies yes or no, the scammer on the other end will get that text message. So if the person responds no, which 100% of the time they're going to respond no because they're not. That allows the scammer to know, okay, now it's time to call that person because now they are under the perception that this is the real bank that's calling them. The person calls with the bots. They go through a script, which will allow the person to be able to either give them their personal information, their login information, or they will instruct that person to send them money, wire transfer money to different accounts. And a lot of times people fall for it. So in the video today, we're going to analyze and react to somebody that did fall for this common scam, this new scam that's going on. This video just dropped a day ago, and shout out to the public file for this video because it's all about information, knowledge, and resources to helping people be aware of these type of scams and fraud that's going on so we can all stay safe at the same time. So let's see what happened in this situation where a woman loses $25,000 in life savings with this scam.
Just anger, like lots of freaking anger.
Down payment drained. A Chicago woman saving for a house lost almost $25,000 to a scammer, and it all started with a simple text. CBS 2's Lauren Victory is live in the newsroom now with her story and the warning signs she missed. Lauren?
Well, Joe, the Better Business Bureau just sent out a news alert about this type of scam. Investigators are seeing a steep incline in the number of complaints involving fake fraud alert text messages.
No.
On the northwest side of Chicago, Anna Yunjai kept a notebook where she tracked her savings. She is a songwriter in her 30s, working freelance jobs between recording sessions. For years, she had been setting aside money for a down payment on her first home. The balance did not grow quickly. It rose in uneven increments, a few $100s after a paid performance, a tax refund, a stretch of careful budgeting. Nearly $25,000 sat in her Chase account, earmarked for closing costs and the first months of mortgage payments. It represented stability she had not yet reached, but believed was possible. Her days were structured but flexible, mornings with coffee and a keyboard, afternoons answering emails, editing tracks, looking at real estate listings she could not yet afford but studied anyway.
There's nobody even in his universe.
One more. Elaborate what their scams and their schemes. So they target people who, I mean, they probably sent out this text message to hundreds of people, and she was just one who fell for it, who actually has some money in her account. So that's what happens most of the time. People fall for certain things, and they might not even have the money in their account. So that mission is dead for that scammer, and they go on to the next person until they find somebody with some money in account and is going through with the process.
Avoid debt, keep accounts secure. There had never been a problem with fraud before. The first message arrived as a text. It appeared to be a Chase fraud alert, a routine question about a suspicious transaction. The number displayed matched Chase's customer service line. The wording was familiar, similar to previous legitimate alerts she had received over the years. She responded. Soon after, her phone rang. The caller ID showed Chase. The man on the line spoke calmly.
Seemed very knowledgeable about Chase.
He seemed knowledgeable about the bank's procedures. He did not ask for her social security number or online banking password. He did not request debit card details. Instead, he referenced internal fraud protocols and mentioned that Chase investigators were looking into possible unauthorized wire attempts. He told her someone had tried to wire money overseas, to China, he said, but the bank had blocked it. The explanation felt plausible. Fraud alerts are common. Banks advertise their vigilance. She had been conditioned to expect protective outreach. He introduced a complication. There could be internal involvement, he said. Perhaps a teller. Perhaps someone in wire services. The bank was investigating its own employees. That detail shifted the tone of the conversation. It implied seriousness, discretion, and urgency.
They want to know.
Over the next several days, the calls continued. Trust was built gradually. The man's number continued to match Chase's public contact information. He spoke the language of banking, wire services, internal review, fraud protection. He positioned her as cooperative and helpful. At one point, he asked her to share her screen so he could review her recent transactions. She agreed. He pointed out items in her banking activity and referenced the alleged attempted wire. He told her that someone was still trying to move money out of her account and that the safest way to protect her funds was to transfer them as part of an internal security procedure. He framed the step not as a loss, but as a temporary measure. He explained that Chase needed to track the suspect. To do that, the bank required her cooperation. The funds would be wired in a controlled way, recorded and monitored. She was instructed to say certain phrases during the transfer process so that the bank could document the attempt and catch the person responsible. The language avoided the word send. It focused on protect, secure, track, restitution. He told her that by following these steps, she was helping protect other customers. The amount discussed was nearly all of her savings, $24,500. By then, the narrative had been established. The money, she believed, was already at risk. Inaction felt dangerous. Compliance felt responsible.
Now, see, it's a lot of times this happens, and people gotta like be more aware and cautious of what's going on. You getting a random text message and like that. First of all, you gotta understand and know, like, okay, it's a lot of this going on, and this is recent, so it's not like this is fairly new. Like this has been going on for years. So if you getting a fraud text like that, the best and the safest thing for you to do is to not respond, call your bank and ask them about it. If they say no, then you know it's a scam already. Eliminate the whole process. But so many people be so not really thinking about it that they think it's real, which allows them to go through with the process. Because the scam and fraud is not clicking on to them like this can possibly be this, because the naiveness
responsible.
of a lot of
She
people.
went through with the wire transfer.
See?
The funds were sent to an individual in India, a man the caller claimed was connected to the fraudulent activity and under investigation.
Bro, first of all, ain't nobody sending no money to India. Somebody say you gotta send it to India, that right there, I'm like, never. This is a scam. Like, why do I have to? Ain't nothing in India. Like Kumar, like Amit Kumar, like that's a whole scam right there. Like you can tell that's a scam. Easy. I would have like, bro, this sound like a scam.
She was told the transaction would be reversed after documentation was complete. The money would return. It did not.
Sure that you're saying all these things over the phone so that we can
How
record
was
it
the money
and
not
trap this
returned?
person.
When the transfer cleared and no credit appeared, doubt began to surface. The calls slowed. Explanations became less specific. Eventually, there was silence. She contacted Chase directly through verified channels. This time, the representatives told her the bank would not ask a customer to move money in order to investigate fraud. They reviewed her account. The transaction, they said, had been authorized. Because
That right? Hold on, what?
she approved the wire, it did not qualify for reimbursement under their policies.
And that's where the loophole is. Once they get the person to like approve the wire transfers and things like that, it's nothing the bank can do because they approved it and they gonna stick firm to that. Like, we're not giving you nothing back. You approved it. So how we know you're not scamming us? How we know you ain't got whoever in India doing this? Like, you never know. And that's why they stand firm on it, because there's so much scamming and fraud going on that you can never know.
The nearly $25,000, her down payment fund, was gone. The Better Business Bureau says complaints involving fake fraud alert texts have increased sharply. Imposters are refining their tactics, using spoofed phone numbers that appear identical to legitimate institutions. The initial contact often mimics routine bank communication. The escalation unfolds slowly, over hours or days. In Anna's case, the mechanics were precise: a spoofed text, a follow-up call from a number that appeared authentic. No immediate request for sensitive credentials. An internal investigation narrative.
And this is where the awareness goes in that. Like, if people are more aware of these type of things, it'll automatically click in their head, automatically register in their head when these type of things happen. Like, hold on, mate, this might be a scam. Vice versa, them saying, oh, somebody, let me click no. Oh, and then they get that call. Like, oh my gosh, this is the bank. They're calling me. And then they heart and scared. Like, their mind is like in a certain world that they're going to go through all this like she did. And there's a lot of people like that.
Sharing to create visual confirmation. A large transfer framed as protective action. Specific instructions on what to say to ensure the bank could record and track the suspect. Each step reduced suspicion. Each step felt procedural. When she reported the loss, she was told that because she initiated and approved the wire, the bank could not issue a credit. Bank investigators reviewed the case. The outcome did not change. The language used was clinical, authorized transaction. There was no allegation that she willingly sent money to a scammer. But the distinction did not alter the result. Consumer advocates note that wire transfers are particularly difficult to reverse once completed, especially when funds move quickly across international boundaries. Banks often distinguish between unauthorized account breaches and transactions customers approve themselves, even under false pretenses. The gray area is widening. Spoofed numbers blur the line between legitimate and fraudulent contact. Screen sharing tools, commonly used in technical support, can be repurposed. Fraud alerts, once a sign of protection, are now a gateway for impersonation. In public statements, financial institutions.
And this just goes down the board and saying about everything that we've been talking about. Like, I wanted this shit get her money back. Like, it's real crazy out here. It's real wild when it comes to these scams and frauds and schemes that people really find it any way and every way that they can to be able to
A realization that the
do
account
these
balance
methods
would not.
and go through with these
Tracing
scams
the
and these
ultimate
frauds.
recipient is complex. Jurisdictional boundaries complicate recovery. The loss is
Like,
Chicago, as elsewhere.
they
Fraud
know it's gonna be hard for them to recover that money. There's nothing they can really do. So that's why they do these type of scams or frauds so they can get away with it more. And it's just all about the scammer doing their research, finding the loopholes, knowing what can and can be done. So when they do it, stuff like this happens. They have the person send it and not actually go in their account and take it, then it's a whole different ballgame. There's nothing the bank can do. So it's just all about being more safe, being more cautious, and being more aware out there. Like I said, make sure you guys are getting your Norton LifeLock to monitor all of you guys' social media, financial accounts, even monitor your personal information to make sure it's not on the dark web floating around for somebody to buy and become you and commit some type of scam, fraud, or scheme. Make sure you guys are freezing your credit bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experience so nobody can get anything in your name. Make sure you guys are really paying attention to those fraud text messages. All right, if you get a text message like that, call your bank. Don't respond. Call your bank because you never know what it could be. And some cases you might know it's you, but some cases call your bank. So if you get a text message saying, "Hey, are you trying to wire transfer?" Yes, call your bank. If you get a text message when you at the store trying to buy something and it sends you a text message, "Are you trying to spend this amount?" Press the message. You know that's real. So that being said, man, just be more safe, be more cautious, and be more aware out there because to be more aware is to be more safe, and to be more safe is to stay cautious. Shout out to all my real King Hustle fans, supporters, subscribers out there because without y'all, there'd be no me. Y'all motivate me keep going. Y'all motivate me keep dropping the sauce, and y'all motivate me keep y'all entertained. So shout out to all of y'all. Anybody out there that's tired of being broke because it ain't no joke, let's get to work. FaceTime one-on-one limit gyms are $1,000. But for limited time only, I'm doing it for 600. Yes, 600 cash app or Bitcoin payment. Once the 600 is on your cash app or Bitcoin balance, send me a screenshot. Let me know your payment ready. And we will go from there. All right. No screenshots, no replies, no 21 questions, and please do not yo me. Also, make sure y'all book your CNO webinars Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. 250, 10 seats available each session. Classroom setting. Ask me and get help with anything that y'all need to get help with. So don't miss out on that. Make sure y'all book your CNO crypto tour, in-person limit gyms, 2,500. Make sure y'all book your CNO month-long mentorship, $1,000, but the first 10 people, 500, and you get a free load. Make sure y'all check it out my vendor platforms on Telegram and the Potato App Media and the network. Still looking for people for the production company. Make sure y'all subscribe and hit the all notification bell on all my YouTube channels, my Twitches, my TikToks and IGs. Make sure y'all check it out the crypto world because it's changing people's lives. And with that being said, it's your boy King Hustle. Y'all know how I get down in these videos. I'll see you at the next lesson video or live. Peace.